Hi, my name is Abby Roth. I'm the Senior Director of Business Operations for Critical Point. We do a lot of teaching and education for sterile compounding and other pharmacy-related activities. So from my background, I come from the microbiology world. I worked in a contract microbiology lab for a number of years. We did a lot of work for pharmaceutical manufacturers for environmental monitoring. We did sterility testing, bacterial endotoxin testing. So I got to kind of do everything um, in the GMP mindset. And it really has helped me as I've transitioned to working more with sterile compounding pharmacies and able to support them in what they really need to do from a microbiological testing standpoint. I had the opportunity to serve on the USP compounding committee from 2015 to 2019 and had a pretty interesting role in being able to help with the microbiology section of the chapter, sterility test requirements, where we landed with environmental monitoring, and specifically some of the changes with that we see with the identification of microorganisms. And one of the things that I'm really excited about to do this presentation about viable sampling in the ISO Class 8 environment has to do with that identification piece and how that can be really important with us identifying what we need to do from a remediation standpoint for when we do get those microorganisms recovered in the ISO Class 8 environment. So along with talking about that, part of that presentation is also going to focus on describing the limitations of viable air and surface sampling. And it's really important to understand what sampling can and can't do in order to be able to get the most out of it. Also going to be focusing on coming up with really valuable viable air and surface locations for the ISO Class 8 anteroom. So where do we want to sample, and giving you the whys behind, why do we want to sample in those places? And then, as I kind of already mentioned, we'll be focusing a little bit on the investigation and remediation piece and how to deal with that in your ISO Class 8 anteroom. And you might be surprised to find that it might not be quite as intense as you think it is. So looking forward to seeing you on for the presentation on sampling in the ISO Class 8 anteroom.